Hi everybody, welcome to the Smithzilla channel. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you like the subject matter here, please hit subscribe, and you can visit my website also, smithzilla.com. Yeah, I want to get right to it. I'm a bass guitarist. Been living in Las Vegas for over 30 years. I played with just about every casino here in town. That's how I used to make my money. But I make the bulk of my money now by street performing. I've been doing it since 2008 when Fannie Mae hit and the real estate economy, everything just went down. So I had to be creative and figure out how I can make some income as a bass player. So that's what I did. I went out my first day. I thought I was gonna make a bunch of money, but I didn't. I ended up making like $30, and I was thinking, that it would be pretty easy, but it's not. It's levels to it. It's like going fishing. You have to figure out or pay attention to what most people like about your performance and your instrument. So it took a while for me to get that figured out. I started actually doing really well out here in Las Vegas on the strip, playing for tips. It was a time where I was making the money that people would lie about making. At least I thought they were. But anyway, after COVID hit, that's when especially things really changed again. Of course, the lockdown and everything that really affected the musicians here in Las Vegas. But anyway, I've been doing it, like I say, for over 15 years. And it's been great. I mean, I really like it because it forces you to be creative on your instrument. So that's what happened. It forced me to come up with different things. That's what I love about it. And plus, it keeps my motor skills. Musicians we call it chops. I keep my chops up by doing it because I'll play for 3 hours straight, pretty much nonstop. Every now and then I'll take a break. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty much because if you stop playing, you don't make any money. You have to continue. You have to keep playing. So that's one thing that's very important that I learned. That the instrumentalist, nobody will know what you're doing if you just sit there. But yeah, it's a great experience. Playing out on the street. I met a lot of people, and think about it out there, most people want to help you, because they figure that this is, pretty much it for whoever's out there performing. And in most cases, they're right. It's a lot of buskers actually make their money. It's their livelihood. And I met quite a few of them who travel around the world and street perform. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But for me, I have to be careful nowadays because I can easily overplay and play too hard. I learned to really pace myself. I think that's for instrumentalists and vocalists, any performer. It's important to pace yourself for longevity. There's times where I was out there and I was just going for the gusto, playing too hard. But I learned my lesson because I wake up in the morning with my hands hurting and stiff, couldn't move my fingers, have to wait for an hour or so before everything got loosened up. So now when I play, I just really keep that in mind. And when I find myself playing too hard, I calm myself down. Yeah, so what I'm using out there, I use it's a Samsung Expedition. It's made by Samsung, and it's 300 watts. It sounds great. You can hear me playing here on this channel. Um, Smithzilla decides to set up in front of the Anaheim Convention Center. So you can search it by that or just go to Smithzilla and you'll see all sorts of performances with me. Yeah, so lately I've been playing out in front of the Cosmopolitan. They kicked the entertainers off of the bridges, so we can't play on the bridges anymore. So I had to try to find a spot, and the spot was perfect for me out on the side of the Cosmopolitan because there's a lot of traffic, and that's what you want as a performer, as much traffic as possible. So that would enhance your possibilities of making pretty good money. For the most part, I don't see many basses. I'm probably the only bass guitar player out on the Strip. You know, I haven't seen, I did some research on them also. It's not many around the world who busk, but although I have seen some very fine basses playing out on the street. I was using my 5-string, but for what I like to do now, I'm playing my 4-string mostly out there. And like I say, because it's really light and yeah, it's easy to carry. You know, my other basses are kind of heavy, but yeah, for the most part, back to the busking. Like I say, I would encourage anybody, if you're an artist, musician, to experience it at least one time in your life, because it's unassuming. You know, people think, well, I'm sure a lot of people think, wow, because, you know, what's he doing playing out on the street? Because I played in some of the best bands here best musicians, best entertainers here in Las Vegas, and some of my friends find it surprising that that I'm out there doing it. But there was a point in my experience where I can say without a doubt I was making more money than pretty much any musician in town. You know, I'm not bragging about that because my thoughts are most musicians are underpaid, you know, except for maybe some of the, you know, the higher echelon guys going out on tour, with some of the major stars. But for the most part, for me to go out and sit behind a bucket and make more than pretty much any musician is actually, I don't think I think it's pretty shameful because, like I say, I'm not crying wolf, but most of the time we're not making the money that we should be making. Let's put it that way. So anyway, you see these chips here. You know, here's one for 25,000. Here's one for 5,000, and two $25 chips. I was playing, like I say, out in front of the Cosmopolitan, and I thought it was pretty late to go out to perform, but I decided, I'll just go out. I just go out here anyway. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I just go out here and practice for a couple hours, and I wasn't expecting to hardly make anything, but it was during the Chinese celebration New Year. It was a lot of Chinese, a lot of Japanese people walking up and down the Strip. But this lady, she walks by me and, oh, you sound great. This is beautiful. And she dropped the chips in my bucket. And these two, the $25 chips, were the only chips that I saw at the time. So I thanked her. I said, oh, great, $50 tip. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But when I got home, shuffling through my money, I found these two. First I saw the $5,000 chip. I was thinking, oh no, these are fake. They're fake. It's not real. And then I ran across the $25,000 chip. I was thinking, nah, fake. They have to be fake. And then I thought to myself, well, why would this person give me? I know these chips, the $25 chips. I knew they were real, but I definitely questioned these. So I looked them up on the internet, and actually I couldn't find them, but I sent the picture to my friend, and he found them. And he encouraged me, man, you got to get down. You better go down there and get paid. That's your money. And yeah, I totally agree with him. So I went down to the casino, and a friend of mine just happened to be dealing that night at one of the high roller tables. And I showed him this picture. He said, oh yeah, no dude, those are ours. Those are the Cosmopolitan chips. Those are ours. He said, go talk to the pit boss over there and he'll tell you what to do. So I went and talked with the pit boss, and I told him how I acquired these. I told him that they're a gift, and I was tipped outside performing. And so I asked him, so what's the procedure for these type chips, the higher roller chips? He said, just go to the cage and show your ID. So that's exactly what I did. Went to the cage, showed my ID, and handed over the chips. And immediately, the lady behind the cage said, we'll cash these two $25 chips, but we have to keep these. I said, no, those are my chips unless you're going to cash them. Oh no, we can't cash those. We can't cash those out because he said, so what table were you playing at? I told him I wasn't playing at a table. Like I said, I'm a performer, and these chips were a gift. And so next thing I know, there was all the top managers or whatever, the suits and ties, show up. And they, guy looked at me like, nope. I was thinking, come on, man. He said, so what table were you playing at? And like I said before, I'm not playing at a table. These chips were a gift. I'm a performer, I'm a bassist. And the young lady liked my performance, so she gave me the chips. He said, well, you have to find out who she is and bring her in to cash them because they might be stolen. Not to say that you stole them, but they might be stolen. We can't. And so I told him, I said, well, I just don't have any other choice. And then the young lady behind the cage said, look, well, the best we can do for you right now is give you a receipt. So they gave me this receipt, if I can find it, this one here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says front money. So they told me that they're holding the chips. As long as I have the receipt, if I find who it is, I can come back and cash them. And I was thinking, man, come on, that's crazy. Because my understanding is they know who these chips belong to because you have to have a player's card to play these chips. But they keep telling me, oh no, that's not how it works. It could be anybody. We can't just go. I was thinking, okay, now you're telling me it could be anybody. But anyway, that's what happened. They decided that they weren't going to pay me for them. So I was very, very, of course, I'm still disappointed. I was very disappointed as to the reasons why they said they couldn't honor their chips. Somebody paid for these chips. My opinion is they just don't want to pay them out. That's $30,000 that they're saving. They're not going to look for anybody to claim these chips. It's a conflict of interest. They're here to make money, but which I can't blame them. But I feel like it's very unfair to me. it's anybody's dream, a busker's dream or a musician's dream, or musicians who play in the lounges. To get a substantial tip like this is this person really showed their appreciation, and I really appreciate that. So if anybody out there knows anybody who's in Vegas during that time in January, February, like February's, I don't remember exactly, February 2nd, I think it was, during that time, to ask them to please email me at tspride1625@gmail.com, because they told me it's easily solved if the person who gifted me these chips were to come in to cash them at any time. It would not be a problem. So I'm actually on a mad search to find this person. But in the meantime, I'm just looking for support. Tell me what you think about this, because I feel like the chips belong to them. They should cash them out for me. But from what I understand, I called the gaming commission, and they told me that it's up to the casino to pay me on the chips. So I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. We're going to save my receipt and continue to go out and have fun and play my instrument. I love playing the bass out on the street. It's a very powerful instrument. You can play bass lines to songs and people actually know what they are. Oh, I know that song. Oh, that's great. And for most other instruments, you have to actually play the melody for people to recognize the song. But that's what I think makes the bass guitar so unique, is that you can play a bass line to a song, because we're the closest thing. We're the go-between between the melody and the drums. So we play a significant part in the makeup of music. Although Simon and Garfunkel, didn't have a bass player, but for the most part, for ensembles, I didn't realize it when I was a kid that how powerful the bass guitar is especially until I started playing out on the street, busking. Like I say, it's really challenging, but once you find those 3 or 4 ideas, I call them movements, and you can see, like, on my channel, some of my performances. I haven't posted many of them yet, but I'm going to be posting a significant amount of footage, because I have tons and tons of footage to share with everybody. It's a lot of fun. This instrument can make you dance. Grooving with the bass guitar and drums, can make you dance all by themselves. Or a bass player could make you dance all by himself, given the right thing to play. But it's definitely a whole lot of fun. And like I say, I would encourage any musician who's probably out of work right now, it's humbling. You figure that, man, this is like the last resort of, my gigging. Can't get a job. I'm not gigging. So, to be honest with you, humbly speaking, yes, that was my situation. But I gave it a shot, went out and started playing. I went from making $30 to $700. It was actually the most I've made was $687 in 3 hours. Yeah. And it continued to be that good for a while, except for when COVID hit. Like I said, when COVID hit, that changed everything. But it's still profitable. And the thing about it is, for a bass guitarist, we can play simple songs, and people will recognize them, and they will tip you for that. So, like I say, if you're out of work, down and out, give it a try. You can get a battery inverter, a power inverter. This is my inverter here. Get a small battery, a 12-volt battery. Plug in your little amp. Go out anywhere. Boom, boom, boom. And hit them, man. It definitely really works. All right, well, like I say, anybody out there who tipped me $25,000, $5,000, $25, two $25 chips in front of the Cosmopolitan, please look me up and come back and take care of me. I don't know who you were, but I know you're a beautiful young lady. Yeah, come back. I'm Smithzilla, and I'm at tsprod1625@gmail.com. Okay, thank you so much out there, everybody. Hope all is well. If you like this, please subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.